Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a very quick comparison here between Huawei Mate 9 and Huawei P10, which is the latest flagship from Huawei. It did actually supplant the Mate 9 as being Huawei's top phone here for 2017. So I wanted to compare the devices here because you can actually get the Mate 9 for cheaper. I have seen in terms of the price here, and it's still a very relevant phone. I think it's coming with pretty much the same specifications as the P10, both Kirin 960, both 4 gigs of RAM. You can get different models of the Mate 9, like the Porsche version, which will set you back £1,000. But honestly, I'd say that the standard Mate 9 is enough, really, in terms of the horsepower. One of the biggest differentiators, actually, is in terms of the build quality here, with the Mate 9 coming with a very nice chamfered kind of edges here. It's got quite a big profile. It is a big phone, nearly I think 5.7 inches. Not quite as big as the Mate 8, but still you're going to feel this one in the pocket. In comparison, the P10 is slightly more pocketable. It is only 5 inches, but they've gone kind of a bit boring with the design here. It doesn't have the same kind of distinctive look about it. It looks a little bit like it's copying the fruit company, which is a bit annoying. And also they've kind of skimped when it comes to the oleophobic properties, which makes for a very smudgy display very quickly. You didn't have any of those issues with the Mate 9 in terms of the display. One area which I have criticised the Mate 9 is in terms of viewing angles, which aren't very good. I think the P10 is an improvement there, but not by a lot, really. But I think one area which is really good on the Mate 9 is in terms of the battery longevity. This is one of the few phones to actually have a 4000 mAh battery with the flagship kind of specs all in all. So I think in terms of runtime, this is a monster at the end of the day, whereas the P10 comes with a 3200 mAh battery, which isn't too bad in itself, but I have found for some inexplicable reason it drains battery in standby mode. Like it's drained like 20% when I've left it on overnight, which is quite unexplainable to me. Maybe it's a Nugget kind of bug, because they are both running Android Nugget. I don't think they've optimized the DOS as good as they could have, compared to stock Android, and that is something you're going to have to deal with both of them. They both run the EMUI, which at the end of the day isn't too bad. It's a skin that you can get used to, but I think most users will be a little bit muddled, particularly if you're not an advanced user in terms of Android here. So in terms of getting around the interface, you can see it's quite close to some of the other skins. Like you do have lots of shortcuts here. If you go into the settings, you can see we do have a lot of settings and shortcuts and gestures, etc. Pretty much the same on both of them, actually, in terms of the settings. I've not really noticed a huge difference in that aspect. You would have thought with the P10 you would have got quite a lot of new upgrades, but sadly that's not the case here. I think if you want the better camera, you're going to have to shell out for the P10 Plus, which comes with a 1.8 aperture as opposed to I think 2.2 as well. So I think the Mate 9 also comes with 2.2. Both of them come with the dual camera technology, monochrome sensor, and all the good stuff that you do expect from Huawei. You can see the actual camera app is practically identical. Again, the Mate 9 matching toe to toe pretty much with the P10 in every way. I think the P10 does come with a slightly better optimized sensor or something I was reading. So I have taken a few shots, and the Mate 9 is very good still, actually. The one thing I was a little bit disappointed with was the camera speed in terms of taking a shot. I think the P10 does improve upon that a little bit, but then again, they both get the job done in terms of the camera. They both support 4K, which is good. and they both have I think 64 gigs internal storage. I think, in fact, actually, I think the P10 has 32 gigs internal storage. Let's just double check that. No, it has 64. That's good. I thought for some reason it was smaller, so you get 32, but both have 64 gigs internal storage. Lots of storage to play with. 256 gig expandability with micro SD, which is very nice to see as well. And you know, I think overall, if you're owning the Mate 9, there's very little reason to upgrade to the P10. If we're going to be honest, I mean, this is still very relevant. I think the fingerprint sensor is actually in a better place as well on the back, because he moved it to the front on the P10, and it feels a little bit unnatural for some reason, because it's quite in a weird place to me. You know, usually you'd think on the front it would be quite nice, but because it's quite a long phone, it doesn't feel quite as natural as when it's on the back here, which rests very nicely on the Mate 9. Coupled with the fact that you're getting a bigger battery, arguably cheaper price for the Mate 9, I think this still holds its own, really, you know, compared to the P10. But if you can't deal with the dimensions of the Mate 9, the P10 is a lot more pocketable. You know, it feels quite nice in terms of rounding off. It does have some questionable design decisions, you know, no waterproofing. That would have been a nice improvement over the Mate 9, but maybe they can get things right for the next one, the P11. Hopefully they don't get rid of the headphone jack, which, you know, they will keep on as well. Yeah, you know, if you've got any questions, do let me know. Two nice phones nevertheless. Just be careful about the storage issue in both of them. Sometimes Huawei doesn't give you, you know, the latest UFS, so do test the phones if you're going to buy one. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.